Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, as I did, all these 3 talks, all these 3 sharings. Now let me ask you some further questions, because the name of this track is Creative Vision. So it's about the way, what was like the moment of aha, when we understood that something new is coming. Andrew, what was for you that moment when you understood that you need to do something and that you was about to do something which eventually surpasses everything you did before? What was the emotion of that moment? What was the excitement and what was the concern?
Well, thank you, Stano. Thank you very much for this question. I think, so for me, I don't know how many of you have been to Africa, how many of you have been to Nigeria. I come from Nigeria, not you, Bra Lawrence, and not you, Stano. So it's quite different. So I'm talking about a third world with limited opportunities, with controlled privileges to some extent because of the way people are entitled and the elite class is separate from all these sort of things. So my experience comes from this background. Fortunately for me, when a senior minister was speaking this morning, the issue of Moses and the burning bush, I think I had longer than I can imagine got a clear understanding of what my course in life will be. And this happens that I had, so comparing with my folks back home, I had the opportunity of good education, so I had a good start. But while in university, I had this very vivid, clear dream where I saw myself working in the desert, scorched by thirst, very thirsty, and I stumbled on an oasis, a well, with a lady who had a calabash in her hand. I don't know if you know calabash, a pitcher, a bowl, drawing water. And the moment I approached, she drew the water and handed it over to me. I had a good drink, and as I sighed that life is back, I turned and I saw a lengthy line of scorched people also walking through the desert, very thirsty. So without asking the lady, I started drawing the water and giving it to everyone that was on the line until they were all watered. So this dream remained with me. So when I finished university, I had a good opportunity, a good placing in government work. I worked for 2 years and I didn't find myself fulfilled. So I left, went out again for further work, private work. And then I thank the gentleman that, did I hear the stories today who wanted to resign? Yeah, the minister, and told his wife. In my own case, reverse was the case. When I told my wife I was quitting, what she said is that you cannot let family members know, because if they know, there will be, everybody will resist it. So between my wife and I, we had that agreement, so I left. I went and developed myself further and worked. We started our company. Then I came back, again hired to advise my government. So I have been in advisory role to my president for 8 years. After 8 years advising the president, I felt empty again. Then I knew then, and I knew clearly, that maybe I was treating this thing with kid's glove, no? Doing a little bit of palliative, a little bit of good. And that is for me, if I say the most recent aha, is that I keep feeling this haunt, this feeling that one should live his life for impact. Nature, God, whatever has been so kind. So it's time for me really to go out there and work with these people. And in my country, if you know Nigeria, if you Google it, Google jobs, 70% of jobs are created in the agri space. And so by divine providence, having trained as an agriculture person, I think that is my call. And I'm out there now with innovation and everything to make sure that I can bring a little bit of succor. And I told somebody, what keeps you awake yesterday? And I told them, what keeps me awake? I hate poverty. Now, poverty, when I say I hate poverty, may not be the same with you in Singapore, right? I hate material poverty created by unjust systems, by limiting access to opportunities. So for me, that is my aha moment when I can now say, I have found it. I'm going out there and I've pledged to use all my networks. That's why I'm here with Brother Lawrence, to reach out to all the people, and I am here with the gentleman in the family office to create opportunities where there is limited opportunities for people in my community to work with dignity. So whenever I'm with the poor, I'm out in the rural community, I feel myself. Because these people are so honest. They have dignity, and they're not asking you for anything. They just want to work with their hands, create something of value. So for me, that is it. Thank you. I don't know if...
Thank you, Andrew. Eric, let me ask you, I mean, we discussed also before the thing, and I know that the driver to dive into the how-tos of parenting was driven by the fact that you were father and you wanted to do better together with Grace, with your wife. But what was like the moment when you maybe in the first moment said to that, oh, I could do something also for the others? No, rather not. It would be like too demanding. But what was the moment when you understood and you formulated this vision of creating something? What was the first step?
18 years ago, when I was doing parenting, I actually go out to learn. I'm not doing parenting yet at the time, 18 years ago. I was going out there to learn parenting myself because, as I mentioned just now, we know nothing about parenting. I do not want to use my parents' method to use on my child. I take the trouble to research and I found methods in the world, and I went there to learn. So I was going there just to learn for myself, for my own sake and not for others. I do not have such a big head to shape the world. I just having it for myself. But when I come back from what I learned, I find that this is not just for myself. It can be for others. So I started doing that. I published a first book. It made it a national bestseller. It was taken and made into a movie by Jack Neal, I'm Not Stupid 2. And today he just launched his I'm Not Stupid 3. So that was the time where I was moving and moving. I'm still not very sure whether should I make it really a career or a purpose or missions. When Ministry of Social and Family Development actually called us, say that, Eric, I'm going to let your guys train all my counselors and counselors very near, right? Yeah. So we are training the counselors, and the counselors went back to the boys' home and helped the boys' home children, and found that the concept really worked. And then after that, they keep sending us the parents of the delinquents. So those are the drug addicts, those are the gangsters, the black society people. But we don't deal with the kids, we deal with the parents, because we found that the problem is really the parents, not the kids. So the aha moment that I had, the trigger points that I further want to walk this journey, because when I was doing this, there's one dad actually sent far away. I went up there to talk to him. I say, what happened to your family? And he shared with me with tears. He said that my boy is in the prisons. And asked a bit further, how many children do you have? He told me he has 2 children. The younger one, the boy, is in the prison. The eldest one is a lawyer. A lawyer! Can you imagine a lawyer and a prisoner? Why is there such an issue in the families? And that really triggered me that this is not to be like that. Why one can be a lawyer and one can be the prisoner? This is not right. And that triggered me that this job is not done. We have to walk this, but I can say that the journey while walking there is really not easy. Without Lawrence pushing me at the last stage, I think I probably already give up. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Shujie, you told us that basically since years, since decades, your company and so also you is here to help your customers grow. When was the moment with the family offices when you understood that this is not just about helping to do a good business, but there is a major cause behind?
Yes. So for this, right, if you look at impact investing, right, there are two areas. It's definitely to create financial returns, but to generate a positive impact in society as well as from the environmental side. And one of the study that we did for a security company, NEC, is to really create an inclusion or a sustainable society through the power of digitalization in the third world country, particularly in South Africa. So during that project itself, we find that actually it's not just about business. You have to look into the social impact. And that's why we came up with 4 areas: empowering inclusivity through biometric ID. And then we also look into how can we create the humanitarian assistance to those in need, empowering those people with the local economies with a lifetime skill set, because the economy is not doing well compared to Singapore, of course. And lastly is to create a sustainable society there in a third world country. So from all this work that we have been delivering to our client, we see that growth has to be something more purposeful or meaningful, really come into a positive impact to the society as well as to the environment. And from that point onward, we also realize that sustainability and circular economy should be part of our foundational practices, and we have incorporated that into all our research areas. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have only something like 5 minutes, so let us try to have just a short response to a question which is quite inspired by Abiola's questions before. Along the road, thinking of because you started with a vision, what was the moment when you felt that, oh, this is not working, shall I quit? And why you did not? Andrew.
Well, in my current role, I don't have such moment. In my previous roles, I've had opportunities to quit twice. First, I quitted being a public in the civil service. I quitted. No second. I had to quit. Second, I quitted again because actually I'm supposed to be serving in government now. So I was offered to go back to the cabinet, but I said no, I'm quitting. But in my role now as a farmer, there has not been such a moment. And I don't think such a moment will come, because I think right now I'm just like living my life. That's why I think this is just my being. And the challenge I have with my CEO, who is seated there, my wife, she always complains, is that I'm not working anymore. It's not a job. It's just living my life. So when I'm out in the rural community, when I'm staying with the poor people, they're not poor, really richer than myself, because they have dignity, they have everything. I don't feel like I'm doing work. So I have been saved from that. I want to quit situation. Rather, I have something that drives me every morning, and one of it really, the most painful, is how, I think maybe what I have now is how can we make these people live with dignity forever? Because once they can own land of their own, I think that will solidify them to Mother Earth, because all they want to do is agriculture. And it's unthinkable for a teacher to not have classroom or students. So imagine I'm a farmer, but I'm landless. It's the concept. So that's why I'm out here. Really, how do we create this access to land for landless farmers who, with the help of all of you seated here, will grow organic, sell it to Singapore, and pay back the loan to own their land. Simple, straightforward business, eh? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Eric, you mentioned that Paradigm Now is the version 4. In all those changes, which change of direction is the most important for you?
When I was started doing that, after Jack Neo launched a movie, we launched our conference and launched our book. In a very short time of 1 week, 1 month, within a month, we hit very good sales number for our books and become one of the national bestseller, that book. Thereafter, I find that it's actually very tough. Very, very tough that to walk the journey because nobody know us. I brought speakers in from overseas as well. Nobody know him as well. And I go to schools, I have to beg people to allow us to go in there to talk. It's very, very tough. And I really wanted to give up that time. And that after a while, I find that because there's no money to be made, I can tell you, the devil will always come to your mind. Eric, there's no money. Get out there. No money, get out there. And it's very tough. That's like in 2007, about 16, 17 years ago. I find that I'm making good money in the IT world. Why should I do all these things? There's no money to be made. I need to survive. Remember, I said, husband and wife is on business. Who make a business and immediately make money is not easy. Our bank from going up from there, zoom, go all the way to the base, almost nothing. And I still got a baby to feed, and it's very tough. And I stopped. That is the version number 1. And I do for a while, and I really can't take it anymore. The devil is always there to say that, please get out. And eventually, I listen to the devil, I get out. I can't defeat him, I join him. So eventually, I get out, and after a couple of 5 years, I left the parenting world for 5 years. And one day, I was talking to my wife, Grace, again. I said to her, I think our heart is still on the parents. The parents out there need help. Let's do it again. And I start doing it. And I got time, I share you the story. I think that story will hit you why I do that. And that is really an amazing story, but I don't think I have time. I see that 7 minutes, still got one more friend here need to talk. Yeah. And that is my version 2. And now we changed, and now it's version 4.
Thank you very much, Eric. Shujie, along the road, what was the critical moments when you really needed to dig deep in order to understand how to move forward? And then backwardly, you have seen that it was so important that there were these moments.
Sure. I think when it comes to impact investing, when we were talking with Lawrence about what should we do to create impact for the society, for the environment, because if you look at today's context, right, there's nothing to measure the societal impact from all the investment, be it from the corporate side or from the family side. Should we quit? Should we not do this? Is it too difficult to do it? So there was a moment that we seriously consider, should we even proceed? But we know that it is not something that we want to quit because this will add tremendous value to the society. So that's why we put our team together, we put our thought together with Consultants team, and then subsequently we review this seriously. Ultimately, we do this for the society and also for the future good, and hence the impact investing. I would say that while we have not started looking into all the concrete framework that we are going to put into impact investing, however, it's a journey. That's why we encourage all of the audience or participants today to join us, and then subsequently together we can create something that is measurable, related to the society and related to the environment. So from there, I think we will definitely lead us to a very promising future. So I guess that is number 1 of the very difficult moment that we choose, should we proceed or should we not to proceed, which is a very key for us. Yep.
Thank you very much, Shujie. Now, I think we have still a bit of time. Do you want to hear the story Eric mentioned?
Okay. So that's the version 2, right? So when we when I talked to Grace and we say that we want to do this again. You guess what? I went around asking for friends, can you help me? I want to run a conference, a 2,000 people conference. I asked around. And as for our friends, I tell him, because he has a lot of contacts into the schools and even knowing a lot of primary school and secondary school principals. I went to ask him, can you help me? He tell me, Eric, if you have money to lose, go ahead. I'm not keen to help you. So I got no choice. I went to church. In a very dark place, I asked God, God, what should I do? And God whispered to me, say that, Eric, you should continue to walk. So I walk, I go around looking for people again. I found second guy who similar has a lot of contacts in the schools and many, many principals. I asked him, can you help me? I want to do a 2,000 pack conference to get all the parents into the room, and I tell them, I want to teach them, we want to teach them something. And he said, yes, let's do it. So we sit down and we plan the thing, the subject of the conference, the title of the conference, even we discuss how much will we charge. And he asked me, Eric, are you going to share the profit with me? I said, yes, why not? Take it. And guess what? 2 days later, he disappeared. I called him. There's no news from him. His wife said that he's not around and I couldn't find him anymore. Disappeared in this earth. No matter how many times I call him. And I go to church and ask again, God, what should I do? He said, continue to walk. And I walked further and I found another guy. He's one of the largest preschool owner in Singapore. I think that time he probably had about 50 to 60 50 to 80, could be 80 preschools in Singapore. You can imagine 80 preschools in Singapore, how many students he has. He said, Eric, I want to help you. Let me buy your 1,000 tickets. I sold to him 1,000 tickets, and I'm very happy. I trust everyone like friends. I did not collect any single dollar from him. And I go to the radio, I tell the radio that our Saturdays are full. And the DJ helped us to push our tickets. Our Sundays are now full. 2,000 tickets are all gone. I'm so happy. You guess what? 5 days before the events, this guy that told me buy my 1,000 tickets said, Eric, I'm going to return you 1,000 tickets. I was totally lost. I tell the world that I'm full, but now my Saturday is zero. And I know that why he has this issue. The next 2 days, the newspaper came out. He was sued by multiple millions, $2-digit million on the newspaper. I went to his office, put this sticker. He can't even get into his office. I got no choice. I go back to the DJ, the radio. I say, please help me. He pushed for me another 100 tickets. No, before that, I forgot to tell you. I call about 100 companies. I tell them that I'm going to give you 5 tickets free. And next 2 hours, the rider will come to my office and I give 500 tickets out. 500 tickets plus 100 tickets is only 500 tickets plus 600 tickets out. Imagine 500 tickets are totally free of charge. Do you think they will come? They may not come. 3 days before the events, a minister said that, Eric, I want to come to grace the event, our guest of honor. I said, please go to Sunday. He said, no. He said, I can only come to Saturday. Imagine Saturday, there's only 100 people who bought the ticket and the rest are empty. Imagine the hall is 3 times bigger than this space because we accommodate 1,000 people. The place is empty. Can you imagine where the face of the minister, like just now our minister here, where the face she has to put? And eventually, he came, and God is so nice that we packed the place with 500 people, and the whole place is amazing, the high energy. From there onwards, we have done so many conferences and helped at least 10,000 people has gone through. I just do that as a part-time. I don't do that as a business. Every time that I do the conference, I just need to pray, God, please help me to break even. And every time I break even with a small surplus, and we just walk and walk and walk. Today is the 4th version.
Eric, thank you much. But thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Shujie. Can you imagine this colorfulness of this canvas presented by our panel speaker? Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. And I give over the word to our dear MC. Thank you.